Well, here's today's project. Pontiac Grand Prix, the one with the boosty wooster. Look at the pretty wires. Ooh. Sorry, being silly. Steering pump is needs replacing, and it's an absolute pain to get to. It's down there, way down there. So I believe the water bottle has to come out. The wheel has to come off. If there's a shield in the wheel arch, that'll have to come off, and then hopefully I can get to where the pump is. Won't this be fun? And this, I think, is probably one of their worst designs. Sticking the steering pump back there, an item that has to be regularly serviced with fluid, or checked at least. They could have put it up here somewhere. Really, I mean, come on. What a fucking stupid idea, you know. Move these bloody things. The coil packs, move them somewhere different. You know, it's just car designers. They do it to fuck with you. All they do is fuck with me. I'd like to get a car designer. Shove a pineapple up his ass. The rough end first. All right, let's get started. Let's get her up in the air. Well, as you can see, it's a right mess under here and not easy to get to. Obviously, I've taken the passenger wheel off, and there should be a shield here, but there isn't one, which is not really a surprise. This car is really rather messy. Needs a fair bit of work. Could do with some new rotors as well. They've had it. Right, so that line up there has to come out. And that is a 16mm, and also this return line here has to come off. So let me get those off, and then we'll continue. Oh, there we are with them disconnected. Normally you would have to put a bowl or something underneath to catch the fluid, but this one has run dry, which is never a good thing, and which is why the pump is now cattle trucked. So next we need to make a path up the top there, so that we can actually undo the bolts on this steering pump. I don't believe, let me just check, I guess you might be able to get to one of them from under here, but I'm led to believe to get to the other one you need to do it from above, and it's certainly not going to be easy. And then I would imagine, and I don't know, imagine the pump comes out this way. So let's see. Now what has to be done is to get this tank out of the way so you can get to the bolts on the steering pump. I believe they're 10mm. On some vehicles, not on this one, there will be a crossbar that you have to remove from here in order to get this tank out. Hopefully, all goes well, I should just be able to get the tank out by undoing those two bolts, and obviously disconnecting this hose here. Someone has replaced this hose with the wrong type, and this has gone rock hard. So I'm expecting to have a problem there, and I may even have to replace that hose. Yeah, that is going to fight like fuck. That's totally the wrong type of hose to use. Alright, I think probably to save myself hassle, I'm just going to cut that off and replace it with a new piece, and I'll give it to the customer. What the hell. Next stupid piece of designing. You can't get the water bottle out unless you undo and move this out of the way, because it hits on this. Really, guys, you're a fucking pain in the ass. Down there is the steering pump. That's what we've got to get to. The bolts on that are 13mm, and it's like a top and a bottom bolt. You can get them both from up here. Not sure what that little piece of plastic's meant to be doing down there. Really, God knows. And yeah, and look at the where the reservoir cap is. I mean, that's just plain stupid. How the hell are you meant to get to check that? You got the bloody water bottle in the way, you can't reach it. It's so stupid. Ponty crap. Something I meant to mention earlier, which I obviously didn't, was you will have to remove the serpentine belt. I didn't have to remove it because it was missing, and I've got a new one to put on for the customer. Also, just to let you know, when I took the water tank off and drained it into my sink, it started off with coolant, then black oil came out of it. You should not have oil in your coolant. It was in the bottom of the tank. Now, I have taken the cover off of the oil filler here, which under normal circumstances I would expect to see coffee coloured, but it's still showing black oil. If it was coffee coloured, that would kind of indicate that the head gasket has gone. So maybe somebody inadvertently put oil in there, steering fluid or something. I really don't know. And there's some more of that crappy pipe that's rock hard. Not going to touch that one. It's not what it's here for. But that one was convenient for me to do. And my God, I've got a lovely place to put a battery, huh? Sheesh. The design on this one is crazy. And what about the air filter if you wanted to change that? That would be fun as well. Sheesh kebab. Alright, let's get those bolts undone on the steering pump. As I said, it's a 13mm down there. I'm going in. I'll be back. Right, here is new pump and old pump. I'd like to line them up just to make sure I know what I'm looking at and make sure everything's as it should be. And I want you to pay very, very close attention here and see if you can tell me what you think is wrong with this old pump. Oh, can you guess? Do you think? I bet that made one hell of a row. Now all I've got to do is separate that mofo. That's going to be fun. So what I will do, actually, I'm going to let this sit and soak for a little while in some PB Blaster. Better remove the cap and get that a clean up, because that I want to go on here. The only concern I have is this came out in two pieces. I hope I can get it back in when it's in one piece. We will see. I pulled it out through the top. It didn't come out through the bottom. Things come out through the bottom, but you know, you don't even want to discuss those. And the two bolts were in these two holes, of course. So they're going to be fun to get lined up. But we will get there. We always do. But, you know, it takes time. Oh, looks there's a piece of a bearing or something. Great. All right. Let's get on and separate this mofo. Okay, I'm grabbing one's trusty pulley remover for the pump. 21mm and 16mm. Assuming you get the same one. And this is tough. Now, of course, normally you'd be doing this with the pump in the vise. In this particular instance, I'm lucky because, well, the pulley's separate. Now, all I want to do is separate it from what's left of that shaft. And there she goes. Ooh. All right, let's pulling that up. Good. There we go. Off with the wrenches. And there she came. Okay. Now all I've got to do is get this off. Ooh, come on. There it is. Okay. And the other item we have is this one. That's for installing it on the new pump. Probably, no, that doesn't fit in there, does it? Maybe it fits over there. I don't remember where that lives. I think that actually lives like that. Right, now what you've got to do is check. Oh, and this amused me. I said to the customer, hey, don't forget to get some steering fluid too. So this is what he turns up with. Not going to do it. It's okay, I've got steering fluid. Now, 2 different threads. Let us see. It doesn't appear to be that one, does it? Is it this one? It would appear to be that one. So, what one does, this one screws that on there, grabs one's pulley, making sure to put it on the right way round, otherwise it'll cause you all sorts of grief. Somebody asked me, could you do that in the car? Oh, well, not really, no. There's no fucking room. Such a fucked up design. Did I say that? Dear, oh dear, what a naughty boy I am. Actually, let me check what size wenches I need. Should be that. Whoa. Okay, these can now go away. Because day is wrong. Okay, so we've got a 17 and a 14. Oops. Probably don't have to wind this all the way up there, but I do because I like to make sure I get lots of thread in the center here. Okay, let's spin this down. Customer can return his brake fluid. Okay. Oops. Hang tight, boys, hang tight. There we go. Well, I could do this in the vise, but you shouldn't need to. So I don't like clamping these things in the vise when they don't have to be. It's kind of, I know this makes it a little more awkward like this, but at least I don't damage it. Oops. And it will bottom out, you will feel it bottom out. So that's when you know you've gone far enough. Okay, that's it, we're there. All right, I'll warn you now, it's a struggle getting that pump back on. Trying to get the bolts in the holes through the pulley without being able to see it. It's an absolute fucking nightmare. And I got the top bolt in first, but it has taken me hours. I've walked away from this more times than I care to think. Finally got the top bolt in, and then the bottom one obviously is not so bad. But it's tight down there. Now I've connected the 2 hoses, remembering that the bottom one there is a 16mm wrench, and don't forget to replace the seal, whatever you do. Now we got the tricky bit here, the belts. This one, as you will recall, the one belt was already off, which is a real pain in the ass, because to get it on, I have to take this belt off. There is a diagram here, so you know that makes life a little easier, but it really is, it's a pain. I don't know why they do things like this. You know, they might as well have just done one bloody great belt. However, let me get on now and replace the belt. I won't let you watch me doing it because it's going to be pretty boring. So that's the next thing to do, is get the belt on, and then we get into the bleeding of the steering system, and we see where the leaks are. No, right, same boring old view. Sorry about that. This now is all back together. The fluid is topped up to the correct level. It is a pain in the arse to get to because the idiots that designed this car put the reservoir at the back. Now, they could have just put a separate reservoir up there on the firewall with a hose going down to the pump, but that would have been too fucking sensible because these designers are morons. So it's all done. One little thing I want to say to you guys about bleeding the system, and you do it how you want. I'll do it the way I like, the way I've learnt, and the way that always seems to work. With the front wheels still off the ground, fill up the fluid reservoir, turn it 4 or 5 times from left to right. Without the engine running. Do not run the engine. Just turn the ignition on and turn the steering wheel. Then leave it for a few moments, check the level. If it's dropped down, top it back up. Do the same thing again. Now, me being an anal person that I am, I do that 4 or 5 times. So I do 4 or 5 times. Then I'll just start the engine, leave it with the wheel pointing forwards, you know, without touching the steering wheel. Let it run for a few moments. This is a good opportunity as well to check all the belts are in the right place and doing what they should. Turn it off, let it rest. Once you've let it rest for a few minutes, check the fluid level. If it needs topping up, top it up. Then start the engine again. Then I turn it a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. You get the idea. And I do that a few times. Then I turn it off and check the fluid level again. Once it's rested, I'll start it up again, and I'll turn it a little further to the left, a little further to the right, until I reach the lock position. But don't hold it on the lock position. You'll hear that pump squealing and yelling at you, and you ain't doing it any favors. So just do it slowly. And then just keep doing that until you're satisfied that it's not making any more noise, and there are no more bubbles coming up in the fluid reservoir, and the fluid level is at the correct level. So that's it, guys. I don't envy you if ever you have to do one of these. I think it's time I said I'm not going to do these anymore because it is such a pain in the ass. All right, please, if you like my videos, please like, comment, subscribe, you know the shit. And if you want to email me, gstargarage@gmail.com. I'm sorry I couldn't show you too much in this video, but most of it you wouldn't have been able to see because you have to do it by feel. And I like doing things by feel, or I like feeling things. I'm not quite sure which it is. All right, guys, again, thanks for watching, and get out there and do shit.